Hi, I'm Tom from the Solar Biz. I wanted to talk to you today about going off-grid. Basically, when people go off-grid, somebody comes up with some kind of system design. Or maybe you might go to a website and try and buy a package. Packages usually don't work out right because you don't know what package to buy, and I think most people are probably attracted to the cheaper package and they think they can add stuff to it. The most important part of the system initially is going to be the batteries. You can't add to a lead-acid battery bank at a later date because of the different internal resistance in the batteries. Other people will just go with whatever the installer says. Now, my experience with lots of installers, not all of them, but lots of them may be very good electricians. But when it comes to battery bank design, they seem to be lost. Or maybe they'll try and do what they did before for somebody that they think is maybe the same size as your house. Ideally, you should get someone who is actually experienced in off-grid design. And that whole process is going to start with an assessment of what you want to do. So the way I do it is I go over everything you could possibly have in your house. We find out how many times a week you use it. I pretty much know, for the most part, how many hours a day things run. Refrigerators tend to run 9 hours a day, like that. And we factor all of that in. What I'm trying to find out with the assessment is how big a battery bank we need for 3 days autonomy. A lot of people think 3 days autonomy has something to do with cloudy days. It does help, but it's not really done for that. 3 days autonomy is going to give you the best life out of the batteries because you're not discharging the batteries so deeply on any given day. Once I've established what size battery bank you need, the next thing I look at is how many hours of sun you have, and we're calling this sun hours. And that's the amount of time it takes to produce a kilowatt of electricity on 1 square meter of solar panels. So it's a way to quantify sunlight. Here in Panama, the sun comes up at 6:30 in the morning and it sets at 6:30 at night, but we have 3.86 sun hours. A lot of people will, tell me, oh, in the summertime we have plenty of sun hours, but I use the NREL database and it gives me a 40-year average of how much sun you have. So if I know how much sun you have and I know what size battery bank you need for 3 days autonomy, then I can compute how much solar is required to charge those batteries. It really needs to go in that order in order to design a good off-grid system. One of the biggest mistakes people make with batteries is they buy too big a battery and they have no way to charge it. And I think a lot of discussions that people have with their installer, it seems to tend to go that way. The thing about a non-designed system is that it will probably run for about a year before you start to have trouble. And the bad part about it is by then, the installer has moved to New Zealand and you're stuck. The other most important thing in setting up an off-grid system is the computations for the programming, which need to be entered into all the devices. A lot of people think that charge controllers somehow sense the battery and they know when the battery is charged, but they don't. Charge controllers are not that smart. The inverter charger is not that smart. All of that stuff needs to be programmed in to be able to maintain the batteries. Batteries are pretty forgiving for the first year or year and a half, but you can ruin a very expensive set of batteries in pretty short order. So you need to have somebody who knows what they're doing to design your system. If you were expecting to get 10 years out of your batteries, or if you're buying industrial batteries which tend to last 15 to 18 years, you're putting out a very big investment. Don't ask the guy next door. I have so many people tell me, I want a system just like Charlie's house. And sometimes I have to remind them, yeah, but you're a family of 5 and Charlie lives alone. You're not going to have the same system. There's really no way around getting a good energy assessment and a design based on that. I'm Tom Duffy from the Solar Biz. My website is thesolarbiz.com. My phone number, if you want to call me, is 888-503-6772. I do assessments over the phone for free if you buy the equipment from me. And after the sale, I will give you tech support for the life of the system. Thanks for listening.